Greetings photography buddies, and today I'll be comparing Canon's two kit lenses for their aps-c RF mount mirrorless cameras side by side. The little RFS 18-45mm f4.5 to 6.3 IS STM and its bigger but more expensive brother, the RFS 18-150mm f3.5 to 6.3 IS STM. Both of these lenses will only work on Canon's mirrorless EOS R system cameras, and both will only give a smaller aps-c image circle, so full-frame camera users will want to look elsewhere, but either of these two lenses could be perfect on Canon's new R10 and R7 aps-c cameras. This is going to be a little summary comparison video. If you'd like more details about each lens and more sample pictures, then check out my two full reviews down in the description below. Let's get stuck in. The first and most obvious differences come in the two lenses' size and price. The 18-45mm lens is very small and costs only $100 when bought as a kit with a camera. The 18-150mm lens is much bigger, not to mention 4 times the price when bought with a new camera, so it's far more of an investment, although it's still fairly lightweight. The next more obvious difference is that zoom range. Let's make no bones about it, the 18-45mm is pretty lame in this department, but 18-150mm gives you a very nice telephoto reach, a massive difference from the smaller lens, which also makes it more useful for portrait photography. Neither lens's widest angle of 18mm is especially wide though. Both lenses also have good quality image stabilization built in, as you can see here. A not so obvious difference between the two lenses is that the bigger 18-150mm lens has a brighter maximum aperture. Throughout the same zoom range, it lets in about 2/3 more light to your camera than the smaller lens does, making it easier to shoot with in dark situations and easier to get autofocus backgrounds. That is an advantage of the 18-150mm lens that will quietly but considerably help you out in the background while you're shooting. In terms of build quality, both are very plasticky, right down to their lens mount, without weather sealing, although the zoom ring of the 18-150mm lens works far more smoothly than the rather sticky and awkward zoom ring on the 18-45. Both lenses have fantastically quiet, fast and accurate autofocus motors, although the focus mechanism on the smaller 18-45mm lens produces quite a lot more focus breathing, which can be bothersome for video makers. Neither lens comes with a hood, and the 55mm filter thread of the 18-150mm lens is only a little bigger than the 49mm thread of the 18-45, so neither lens will require you to use big expensive filters. Well, let's move on and look at image quality now. I'm testing both lenses on a Canon EOS R7 camera here, with its demanding 32.5 megapixel sensor, and in-camera corrections are turned on. Let's start at 18mm. Both lenses are really sharp in the middle of your images, although their contrast is just good. Over in the image corners, interestingly, the 18-150mm lens is noticeably sharper than the 18-45. You'd expect the lens with the longer zoom range to be struggling more than this. At f5.6 and f8, the 18-150mm lens holds on to its advantage. Let's zoom both lenses to 45mm now. The 18-45mm lens's maximum aperture has now darkened to f6.3, and the 18-150mm lens has only just gone down to f5.6. Interestingly, in the middle of the image, the 18-150mm lens once again carries a little sharpness advantage over the 18-45, albeit only a small one. In the corners, both lenses are much softer, although now it's the little 18-45mm lens that pulls slightly ahead. Stop down both lenses to f8 for a small improvement in the corners, although the 18-45mm lens is still very slightly better there. And finally, just to satisfy your curiosity, here's the image quality out of the 18-150mm lens if you zoom all the way in. Of course, the 18-45mm lens has been left way behind at this point. In the middle of the image we still see very good but not quite perfect sharpness. Corner image quality is certainly fairly soft here, although not totally disastrous. Stopping down to f8 will bring just a marginal improvement, although f11 gets a little softer again due to diffraction. Overall, the results are a little surprising here. With its shorter zoom range and darker aperture, the little 18-45mm lens should have outperformed the bigger 18-150, but it's clear that the super zoom lens actually carries a little bit of a sharpness advantage. I wasn't expecting that. Both lenses can shoot fantastically close to your subject, which is really helpful. The 18-45mm lens, its close-up image quality at f6.3 is much worse. Stop down to f8, and the 18-150mm lens still has a huge advantage, and even at f11, the super zoom lens is still ahead. Both lenses perform well against bright light, although we see just a touch more flaring out of the 18-150. Both lenses have nice, soft quality bokeh, although it's far easier to get autofocus backgrounds on the 18-150mm lens, as you can see here. So overall, this is how the two lenses compare. As you can see, well, it's more of a contrast than a comparison, because the more expensive 18-150mm lens is simply better in virtually every way. The only advantage of the 18-45 lens really is its smaller size and cheaper price. Anyway, hope you found that little comparison helpful today, and if you'd like to know more about either lens, then check out the links in the description below. Ciao for now, everybody.